Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday MUll for Tuesday, the 18th of July. With Robert Murray McShane, we're working our way through Acts today, reading chapter 5, which begins with the troubling story of Ananias and Sapphira. We're told, now a man named Ananias, together with his wife Sapphira, also sold a piece of property. With his wife's full knowledge, he kept back part of the money for himself, but brought the rest and put it at the apostles' feet. And Peter then challenges him and says, why have you kept some of the money for yourself? You haven't lied to me, you've lied to God. And Ananias drops down dead. A short while later, his wife comes in, and Peter asks Sapphira, is this how much you sold the field for? And she says, yes, that's right. And he says, you've lied to God, not me. And she also drops down dead. And I've heard this passage misused to talk about paying your tithes and withholding from God and giving God his full due, etc. Whereas, as I read it, I'm not sure that that's what it's teaching. Because what had happened is, at the end of the previous chapter, we're told that people were selling property and bringing the money to the apostles for use in the church. And then we're told Joseph, a Levite from Cyprus, whom the apostles called Barnabas, which means son of encouragement, sold a field he owned and brought the money and put it at the apostles' feet. So here was this man, sold a field, brought the money, and he was called the son of encouragement. And it almost looks like Ananias and Sapphira want some kind of human accolade. They want the apostles to call them the son and daughter of encouragement or some similar thing. And so they sell the field, but to hold back some of it. And so they're deceiving people, and that's the problem. It's not what they're doing with their money. It's their dishonesty, that they're being deceptive. Because Peter says to them, when he's speaking to Ananias, he says, didn't the field belong to you before you sold it? And when it was sold, wasn't the money at your disposal? So he's saying that this was entirely in your hands. You didn't have to give us anything. You could have brought us half the money and said, I'm bringing half the money. That would have been fine. Your possessions are in your disposal to use in whichever way you want. Just you came and you were lying, and that was the problem. And so for me, it's a challenge to integrity, not that challenge to sell property and give the money to the church. Some people do that, but that's not the call. The call is to have integrity in what we do with our resources. And today we remember Nelson Mandela on his birthday, and we're called to use 67 minutes of time to serve the community, do something to make a difference. And it fits in with us that we have so many different kinds of resources at our disposal, and we're called to be generous with them. But they're at our disposal. There's nothing demanded of us. There's no demand on Ananias and Sapphira to sell the field. It was up to them. And we have the same kind of choice. With our resources and what we have and what we've received and everything, we have choices to make. And our prayer just needs to be, God, give me integrity as I deal with this. Sometimes I won't sell it. Sometimes I'll sell it and give 10%. Sometimes I might give 20% or 50%. Sometimes I might give the whole thing. But whatever it is, I'm doing it for you, and I'll be completely honest about what I'm doing and the reason behind it. So rejoice in what God has given you. Use it generously, but use it with integrity. And as we do that, we're walking with Jesus, and we are blessed.